Revelation describes a time when the vast majority of people in the world will receive a mark that will directly impact the rest of their life. And only a few know what the mark is. The mark of the beast is not a vaccine, social security card, tattoo, or computer chip. The Bible gives facts and clues to determine what the mark is, who it comes from, and who will have it. The mark of the beast is first mentioned in the book of Revelation, chapter 13. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Let's break down this scripture to identify 7 facts about the mark. Then we'll put these facts together with some additional scriptures and identify exactly what the mark is. But before we get into it, if you're new to this channel, we make these videos to explain Bible topics in an easy-to-understand way. We believe the Bible is the foundation of truth and everyone can benefit from it. So give us a like and help spread the word. Now back to the mark. Number 1. The mark is the sign of a coming world-ruling government led by a powerful political leader. There are 2 different beasts described in Revelation chapter 13. The first beast, described in verses 1 through 8, comes up from the sea and has 7 heads and 10 horns. This beast, as explained in other TW videos, represents a revival of the Roman Empire. There will arise an individual. The book of Revelation describes a time.
Can't get that house.
Shalom. Want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Want to say double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring with sincerity. This Rob Mott for the Nebraska camp. GMS any Fort Nebraska, man, and yeah, this lesson is just going over another blunder of IUIC. You understand? But guess what? It seems like they're having epiphanies. You know, and I like to say myself that hindsight is 2020. And what it sounds like, you know, because he was explaining the MOTB and his experience with the Jabberwocky, okay, and how the government forced him to take it, okay. So the mark of the beast, the ultimate form is going he says it's going to be a forceful thing. Hey, no shit, Sherlock. Right? But that's not what the MOTB is. It's not force. Of the white man blah. That's a part of it. That's a characteristic of it. All right. But the MOTB is a micro CHIP. Okay, the physical, you know what I'm saying, thing. All right, just like there's a College World Series going on out here, and somebody asked me where it is, and if I say, if you see a lot of people, you know, that's describing it. But to tell you the street, okay, is on this corner and that corner, all right? Not where you hear the crowd chanting, where you see the people, you know, buying beer, because that could be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But that's a heavy description, but that's not the only catalyst. Okay? The stadium, the street that is on, the front of the place. Those are all descriptions, but the College World Series is the actual game itself. You know, but sorry for venturing off, but the point is these guys they're saying that that is everything but the micro CHIP, in which it is. Okay, and we, as you go into Sirach chapter 27 and 11, it says, "The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom, but a fool changeth as the moon." Yeah, because it was sin. It was to IUIC is sin. Say that, you know. It was Christianity. Okay. And now it's forced immunization or forced whatever's. All right, because they're not being specific. That's another thing. You know, they're not really sitting here. They're being very vague. And now they're telling you hindsight information, which is very alarming for a prophet. All right. He's sitting there telling you after the fact, after he done got the Jabberwocky, and telling you, well, this is what I realized from that experience, that this is going to lead up to the mark of the beast. You know, a person like that is, hey, they're going to walk right into it. All right? So, and the scriptures also tell you, Proverbs 24 and 21, it says, "My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and whoso knoweth the ruin of them both." Okay? Yeah, it's going, because they're all over the place. All right, they're not settled. All right, these guys aren't settled in prophecy. That's why they're messing it up so much. Okay, it's just like a stand-up striker that didn't work on their wrestling. They look good until somebody really tests them. You know what I'm saying? It looks good, or vice versa. Person that works on grappling all day and work on their hands. When somebody say, you know what, I'm about to test his chin, I'm about to test his jaw, see if he can get me off him. Ronda Rousey. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys are one-trick ponies. A man, a Lord, a prophet is covered in all areas. All right, because the body give us some teachers, some evangelists. All right, some giver of the alms. All right, there's many offices. All right, within the ministry, and all of us covered the gift of prophecy. Okay, some physicians, all kind of things. The Lord created us to be the whole body, but the whole body is definitely going to be covering prophecy, and that's the thing with these guys, that they don't, and it's an under-exercised muscle. All right, it's not like they be looking and researching it and just don't feel like going over it. They don't look after. They're not on a watchtower. They're not on a wall looking via prophecy. All right, they're looking at their temple. They're looking at the building and trying to make it better. Motherfucker, we at war. All right, yeah, I'm saying, like, y'all try to build libraries and reconstruct this and reconstruct that, and we need to be preparing to relocate. All right, because this is Esau's last humbug. This is his last hurrah. The devil coming down great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time. Now, getting back to this MOTB, the MOTB is not forced, whatever they're doing, okay? But that is a part of it, all right? The MOTB is a micro CHIP, all right? And we're going to read it real quick, because we got to keep reading this, because people like that, will try to use certain parts of the verse to divert you. Same as vocab. They use the Red River, and you know, it's like, yeah, they're trying to they use little, but we got to keep reading the whole thing. We got to keep reading it and making sense out of it every time. All right, it says see here. It says, because I want to read a little bit up. I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says, Revelation 13:11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. And that, you know, again, that beast is not an actual animal or physical animal. The entity of this beast, or the allegory, is talking about the Democratic and the Republican Party, which they had the same type of party in Rome as well. Okay, I forget the exact wording for it, but there was, you know, the same concept of the Democratic and Republican Party, which is structured and designed for division. Okay, a divide and conquer. All right. To have you, you know, want to, you know, I'm tired of this guy, good cop, bad cop. I'm tired of this guy, I'm going to go to this guy. I'm tired of this guy, I'm going to go to that guy. Meanwhile, both sides of the fence are working for each other. All right, because it's chaos either way. If Biden was in office, they let them all in. They let all the immigrants in. And then Trump's in office, he want to kick them all out. And it's just yo-yo game of yo-yo. And then they could be doing human trafficking 9 times out of 10. That's what they're doing, because a lot of them people getting snatched up and taken, and nobody knows where they're going. All right, no Social Security, no country. You know, they left their country. What else? In a place full of human trafficking, what else would you do? You know what I'm saying? But that's just me speculating. Hey, you know, I'm just talking. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, but through the Democratic and Republican Party, at the end of the day, you know, what's going on in Israel is still happening, regardless of who's in office. All right. And all these ties and all that he has with Russia and these deals. This dude Trump came off as going ham, creating all the chaos he said he was going to get rid of. All right. Creating every single drop of chaos that he said he was going to get rid of. All right. And it's indirect. Okay. Nobody expected him and Elon to get together, which through Elon Musk, he's going to usher in the MOTB. And there ain't going to be no forced vaccination or nothing like that. That was a trial run. That was to see people like you, would you be compliant? And you were. Okay? They're going to see people like the prophets of GMS be non-compliant, along with Edomite whistleblowers. Okay? They got the information that they needed. They quantified their data. They've got all the information they needed as far as who would comply and who wouldn't comply with that Jabberwocky, because that was a heavy constitutional violation. All right. There's a point in time that they did that, you know, during MK Ultra, when there was forced testing people and tricking people into it. And then after a while, they had to approve of consent. They had to approve through consent, meaning if you were in the military, they used to be able to just do what they want with you. If you was in a prison system, they used to be able to do what they want with you. And they used a law to circumvent that to experiment on human beings. But they came out with the law of consent, all right, which these women are using nowadays. But the law of consent is what slowed down forced experimentation on, you know, people in an inhumane way. And that happened through prison, and it happened through they did it to children. Okay, they started asking them, giving them McDonald's. Okay, start offering same thing they offer you to get that Jabberwocky. They started offering you hamburgers and deals so they could do experiments on you. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's not the MOTB. That's what leads up to it. That's what's going to lead up to it. All right. Esau right now is doing test runs, man. Okay. So going on, it says, verse 12, it says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose daily wound was healed. You know what I'm saying? And that beast whose daily wound was healed is the British. Okay, but America, which is the beast, the whore that ride up on the dragon, but the Republican and Democrat, all that is talking about America, you know, causing people to worship the Roman system. Okay, the way the judgment is going, the government, the Roman Senate. Okay, the philosophies, the pseudoscience, the intentions and directions, global domination. You know, Pinky trying to take over the world. You know, yeah. So they're causing people to worship the first beast, the first image. I mean, the original beast, and that's the Roman lifestyle. You know, these pillars, the laws, the Latin. You know, that's in the courts and the medical fields. All right. This place is Rome all over again. The Colosseums. Okay. There's an idea and a way of thinking. And people haven't been to ancient Rome to know, more than likely we're walking around with the same mentality, but just same shit, different toilet. You know, instead of togas, you walking around with Nike on. Okay. It's just the same mentality. People could have been walking around. If you had on Nike, you felt some type of way. You felt you was better than other people. That whole concept. You riding in this car, so now you feel like you're better than these people. And there's classes, and it's the same type of energy, just same shit, different toilet, man. All right. This place is not only Roman theory, it's Roman culture too. Okay. Verse 13 says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire coming down from heaven and on the earth in the sight of men. Because that fire from earth is talking about those thermonuclear missiles, really missiles, period. Okay? And it makes people wonder, it makes people marvel, like, oh man, I can't do that. Let me leave him alone. All right? It's a display of power. All right? Just like when Pharaoh had his magi's to turn the snakes, the staffs into serpents. It's a display of power. It's not saying, look what the cool stuff I can do. It's saying, look what type of stuff it'll put in the person's mind. Damn, this person could have a bunch of snakes just come in my room and kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a powerful statement to show that type of level of ability. Okay? Esau rolling around showing you videos of missiles on how missiles work on National Geographic. That's a scare tactic, man. And the missile head breaks off the thermonuclear, and they show you all the warheads and the shoot, and then the missile defense system try to stop it, and it gets through in the perfect manner, and you're like, oh, nobody can stop them. And meanwhile, the Iron Dome is just failing. You know, but that's neither here nor there. The Lord's in control. He's gonna kill you. He's gonna make alive, man. You know, so don't be worried about the wiles of the devil, and this no marvel at the wonders of his works. You know, because those that don't have faith, you know, they gonna marvel. All right, is he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause of as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, because the image of the beast is representative of their culture, their ideas. All right. The format, the American way. Okay, if America, CNN say get the vaccination, if you ain't in that mentality, then you obviously you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb if you don't worship the image of the beast. It's pseudoscience. You know, stop and frisk, the way they carry their laws, the way they carry marriages, the single. You know, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Oh no, I don't eat pork and all that. What? Hold up now. Us Americans like bacon now. You know, we put bacon on everything now, buddy. You know, I ain't saying that not eating bacon is the image of the beast, but I'm saying the culture of America is representative of the image of the beast. Okay, the way you gotta act. All right, when a nigga with a 5 o'clock shadow in a sundress and a muumuu on walks up to you and tell you his name is Tammy, you gotta call her Tammy. You gotta say she's Tammy, and his nouns is she, her, and shit. You gotta entertain it, and if you don't, then you're a problem. Hell, how these tapped in celebrities have to operate. They're the core of what the image of the beast is. Okay? The image of the beast is also represented that niggas ain't shit. Women are strong and independent. Okay? That you know, that there's a hierarchy, there's genetic things that we need science, and we don't need the Most High. You know? That the money is king of all. Education is the king of all. Okay? That's the image of the beast, because the education system in itself is not built off of you need me. All you need to know how to read and write and have a skill set. Okay? Here it is. You can get a trade and make it through the system, but the image of the beast don't tell you that's the way of life. So people follow the image of the beast. You know, but let's continue on, because, you know, these guys are changing like the moon, and they're going. They don't understand the where we're at right now and the place that we're headed. They still looking at they still in jail talking about, you know, I got my Twinkies, I got my jailhouse cake, I got my jailhouse burrito, and we're gonna build a jailhouse kitchen for everybody. It's like, no, we trying to get the hell up out of here, man. I'm trying to get my bond. All right, I'm trying to do my time and get the fuck out of here. And these guys trying to create schools in jail. That's the problem. And that's why all their prophecies are hindsight, because they're not even looking and hasten for the day. As the scriptures say, it's like, I don't want to lose this precept, but so we're going to 2 Peter's 1 and 9. The point is the 1 and 9, but because there's a lot of it tells you about the some character traits. I started at 2 Peter's chapter 1 verse 5. It says, and besides this, given all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. So we're supposed to have social traits, because these integral traits, these traits that the Lord is telling us is a part of keeping us out of Satan's devices. Because you're going to need the brotherhood, you're going to need integrity, you're going to need ability to endure, you're going to need patience, you're going to need the godliness. You're going to need these things to move left, move right, move up, move down, and dodge the arrows of the wicked, man. You know what I'm saying? So, because sometimes the Lord will tell you, look, be humble right now. And Satan could be trying to get you up and getting you to do something. He'll tell you, be patient. When Satan will put you in a situation to make haste in a time of trouble, i.e., you're going to get fired unless you take that Jabberwocky, which that guy took it, because there was no stern leadership to say to do or to not to do with that Jabberwocky. That's another thing. And that's what the apostles been saying and been telling, that y'all sitting here and not telling somebody to take it and telling somebody not to take it, and saying and being on a line. That man ain't, where there's no law, there's no sin. So he wouldn't know if that was off or not to take it. Well, he know what she knows. But they're Americanized to say they prioritize their jobs, they prioritize their family over this gospel. So anything that's so-called prophetic that jeopardizes that, they're going to see it as a sign to do it. Okay? So when your family is jeopardized, they're going to see that as a sign to go into the concentration camp. And when their family is jeopardized, they're going to see that as a sign to take the MOTB. All right? Because they think it's a belief system. And their belief system is family, love, and living. So they're going to protect, their spirit's going to be always in the direction of that. But it says, into godliness, brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness, charity. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in knowledge of our Lord Hamashiach. You see, you'll never be unfruitful. All right, verse 9, the point, it says, but he that lacketh these things is blind and cannot see afar off, and have gotten that he was purged from his old sins. What was our old sins in the world? All right, why were we purged? Because we're headed to new and a better and new promise. All right, but there's a path that must be walked to that better and new promise. There's people that will try to take you off the path. There's a hardship to the path. All right, but at the end of the day, we repented from the world. We repented from not only from actually sinning, but for thinking that Babylon is the way. All right, we repented from saying, let me get my education, let me get into real estate and get these fiat notes. We repented from that too. Okay, we ain't just repent to say, I know what pork is now. Ew, sicky. Yeah. We repented from that, but we also repented from, the single woman, single man thing. That's not biblical. You can do that, but that's not a law. To sit there and say you got to operate like that, the idea towards how they treat men and women, we repented from that. There's roles. All right, we repented from the what looks good and what doesn't look good, because that's an oppressive system that we're in. It's got Jake programmed, and people like IURC hasn't escaped that programming. They just put new garments onto old garments. They mix their bottles. They haven't repented from being an American, man. They haven't repented from the image of the beast. They just put their new garments onto old garments. And you can't mix fabric like that. It's going to rip and tear. Okay? And that's what they're doing ultimately. And they're trying to put mix prophecy. They're trying to put, America standing up. At the same time, they don't want to say America is going to get up out of here. And they don't want to put that energy out. Because they're linked up and juiced in with the image as well. Okay? And with the beast and its image. Because there's a lot of gold coins coming out that machine that they standing under. Okay? They them jakes that was in the wilderness that was taking more quail than they was supposed to. That's them niggas. All right. It says, verse 10, it says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. Okay? And that's the thing, that we supposed to be in the spirit of seeing afar off. All right? Not seeing now, not seeing how well we're doing now. Okay? So getting back to Revelations 13 and 14, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And those miracles, the medical field, you got the Neuralink, you got people getting up and walking, people getting up and seeing. All right, you got autistic people. You know what I'm saying? You got people rising from the dead. All right, they even just resuscitating people. Okay, people that were sick unto death and you healing them. Chemotherapy. All right, the education system. Okay. The medical field system, Ritalin and all that. Oh, my son was so ornery, nice. He's so calm. Hey, he's doped up. The space cadet, he gone. You know what I'm saying? And now because you got peace. The phone got your kids captivated. Oh, it's so peaceful. Makes my life so much easier. When America made your life to where you have no place for quiet, man. Your whole day, I seen on it last night. That made me put my phone down, go to sleep. Dude said, your head, you got 10 hours, 12 hours of time, and 2 minutes of quiet in that. I said, let me take my sleep. 2 minutes of, like, we barely. Even in this society with Jake got sense, man, we barely got time for quiet, man. Barely got meditation time. Barely got time to just sit and decompress and just deal with nature. If you feel like you're losing, you feel like you're losing. When that's natural, man, we're supposed to sit back and get some vitamin D. We're supposed to feel the breeze, smell some good air. All right? You're supposed to be able to do that. I ain't saying to sit there and stare at the sun or walk around for hours. All right, but you need time to embrace nature. You need time to embrace quiet. And we don't have that here. That's depressing. This is not our rest in many ways, man. But it says in verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause of as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yeah, because, like, to be against the alphabet system, like the Pride Month and all that, to speak out, that's a part of the image of the beast, to talk down on science and tell, yeah, man, yeah, that I don't trust this, I don't trust that. Oh, you believe everything on the internet. You get hated for not going with the culture of America. You started to, well, I don't vote. All these things that you don't support, that's of the image of the beast, you're going to be hated for. Eventually, people are going to want to get rid of you, or they will get rid of you, because that's what they were trying to do with the Jabberwocky. Okay, even though they got vaccinated and that makes you immune, they were saying like, oh, they kept coming up with lies because they'll get vaccinated and say, hey, we're immune. So y'all people that don't want to get vaccinated is the problem. Because if everybody got it, everybody would be okay. And then Jake, people wised up. Like, it was like, wait, well, if y'all good, why y'all worried about us? Because whatever we got, y'all can't get. So they come out with a lie and say, hey, well, y'all's mutate, and that's going to cause them to have to do this. But then they have to keep getting it because it mutates within them. And then it comes out that it does nothing. And then people are dying from it. And then, oh, you didn't see anything. It's just this whole circle of craziness. And meanwhile, because they said you ain't gonna be able to go to work, and Jake can have faith to say, you know what, to hell with that job. All right, it's whatever, man. Because a lot of them people that stood on business got money for it, and they got their jobs back. All right, a lot of Jake that, I gotta travel, I don't know how I'm gonna take my family here, and you don't even need it anymore in most countries, man. Jake took that shit, altered their DNA, just to be able to go and get some French fries from some fish and chips in England and shit. To go and roll and sit at the beach when you could have just waited and have faith, or to get your fiat notes. Y'all like talk about Daniel, but you couldn't sit in that lion's den. A lot of y'all will fold. Okay? A lot of y'all will fold and bow the knee to Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? The same situation. Oh, I gotta spare my life, but who's gonna be there for my family? So this is the only choice I have. Yeah. Where's your faith at, man? Where's your foundation laid at? And that'll tell you who you're gonna bow the knee to. All right. So getting to verse 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And that right hand, ain't nobody taking no vaccination in their foreheads. Okay. That's talking about that micro C-hip. All right. Because that's going to be the old. Why is it specifically that, ladies and gentlemen? Because this is the end all be all. They have control of the food. They have control of what's right and what's wrong. They have control of the economy. They have control of the laws. They just don't have control of human beings. Okay? This is the last step of control. Once you control human beings, you control the strongest, most dangerous specimen on planet Earth. Okay? The people that created missiles and guns and computer chips and fried chicken and oatmeal or whatever, you're controlling them. So now you're God in this ultimate form. And that's why the scriptures say he sitteth on the throne as the Most High, thinking himself as he is the Most High. He's ultimately trying to get snug into that seat. He's trying to put the yoke on his plans. Okay? That's why the MOTB, the mark of the beast, is a micro C-hip. Because that's going to solidify. There is no physical way of getting out, of taking that. Once you get that in you, they got you. It's solidified. You can be so they say it's Christianity. You can act like a Christian and go to the store and say, no, I ain't with all that. To go to that, Christians to this day do a lot of, they compromise they values every day to this day. Like it's gonna be a bunch of Christians saying, oh, hell no, like, no, they're blessed pork, man. So nah, man. So a Christian's value, they're gonna buy and sell, man. They'll take the mark. A lot of so-called Christians are going to take the micro C-hip with no hesitation, just like they took that other stuff. Because it's to show you that they'll take it. They're gonna put it in churches, just like they put that micro C, the Jabberwocky in churches, just like they put any other contraceptives for pregnancy. They target churches before they target anything else. You know what I'm saying? So Christianity, they're fickle. You know what I'm saying? The core of it. And it's not, and then that's not gonna lead to the market of MOTB. Because you gotta really, it's gonna be like going to jail. It's gonna be like something that's forced. And it's gonna corner you. Okay? That Jabberwocky, it was a level of force. And it was a level of cornering, but everybody ain't take it. It wasn't mandated. They tried. All right? But everything wasn't in place yet for them to actually, again, they was doing a test run. All right? That's why they need another big event. Okay? Once something big enough happened to where martial law, i.e. these protests, all right, i.e. these wars, all right, these tariffs that's put on China, that famine could cause people to erupt, terrors making people afraid on every side, all right, to the point that they say, hey, it's too much craziness going on. We need to track everybody. We need to make sure everybody's where they're at, where they need to be. That people have we need to make sure everybody's getting what they need. We need to make sure that everybody ain't a terrorist. All right? They got it to where you can label a domestic terrorist. They got it to where, food is shortened and they got to ration the food. Okay? They got it to where everybody's sick. And it's a sickness that can spread so fast. So I need to see everybody's vitals. All right, the stage is set for one thing. That's the MOTB. That device going to be able to track your money, will track your vitals, okay, track your location. Where's my dog? Yeah, and it's going to be under your skin, charagma. All right, to receive the mark, charagma, incision under the skin. While you got Esau, and I put in post-production, he's trying to say it ain't no micro. That's smoke and mirrors. Why are they talking about that now? Because they're watching the prophets, man. And they're trying to deflect. They're trying to deter. Because they know a lot of niggas they wonder at the image of the beast, which is all that technology and the science. Well, I'll show you a cartoon, the high-tech ass cartoon. The fuck out of here, man. That's a sorcery, man. Stand down with thine enchantments. Okay? So yeah, man. As IUIC is all over the place, Esau's ramping up, which is then them niggas suspect, man. They're rolling too much in league with Satan. Okay, they don't know where they at. They always trying to latch on to what's right. Okay, and twist it up, man. They're messing with the name. Okay. They're messing with the idea of what we're out here for. Okay? They're not doing evil, but they're making sure that people are docile towards prophecy. Like we are supposed to be in the spirit of prophecy. They're in the spirit of nah, bro. Let's chill. Let's just chill. Let's chill. Don't worry about all that, bro. Let's just build this way. You're an Israelite. Let me show you. But don't go over there and do what they're doing. Something wrong with that, man. So with that being said, I give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.